Welcome to our barn, where we're smoking premium cigars, living the country life, and equipping ourselves with the tools necessary to stand up to the pressures of compromise and tolerance. This is Cigars in the Barn.
All right, guys, welcome back. Cigars in the Barn. Today we're going to be doing the Drunk Chicken Sweet Dreams. This is a Lancero size, so 7.5 by low 40s, high 30s. I don't know exactly the rim gauge, but I would say between the 38 and the 42 max. Nah, 38. This is a slightly sweetened tip. We have Connecticut shade wrapper, we have Dominican and Nicaraguan fillers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just by not even taking a cold draw, just checking it out, it's definitely got a sweet tip to it.
Yeah.
Almost like a Cuba Cuba. It's got that sweetness.
Definitely.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Different.
It's got that really cool pigtail on the top of it. If you guys like the little design there, it's the little things that count, right? So we're gonna get this thing cut up, take a cold draw, go from there. It's definitely not infused. It's just sweetened. This is almost more like a Baccarat.
Which is fine because I'd rather have just that flavor.
Yeah.
To be able to still get that Dominican and Nicaraguan.
It's not gonna overpower the flavor of the smoke. No. It's just gonna give you a little bit of something on your lip.
It'll probably wear off.
Okay, taking some cold draws, getting kind of the typical flavors, a little bit of that normal Dominican profile, a little bit of that nuttiness. Obviously, the sweetness of the tip is really overpowering a lot of those subtleties. I'm not able to really get a good cold draw for you. The draw itself is a little tight, which to me I like, but it's a little too tight right now. So we'll see if once this thing gets hot, it opens up a little bit.
Yeah, I hope so.
But yeah, I mean, the wrapper's really well done.
Yep. Small
veins, no real major. I have maybe one little soft spot. So construction-wise, so far is great. Nice, smooth. This is more of a velvety wrapper, and a slight oily hue to it. So overall construction and a visual appeal is good for me.
Yeah, it looks great.
I haven't smoked a whole lot of Lanceros in my life, so it'll be interesting to
good change up.
Yeah, this is probably the third or fourth ever, so I'm excited to get into this.
Yeah, give it a try.
All right, we're gonna light it up, get into that first flavor profile. We'll check back with you when we're done.
That's not bad.
Very interesting.
I think what's great about it is you get that hint of that Nicaraguan and that mix.
Yeah.
But then you get that sweet flavor from the
wrapper.
The wrapper. It gels really well.
Like we're saying, this is not an infused cigar. This is more like a Baccarat. If you guys like Baccarat, I happen to really enjoy Baccarat. But it's just the wrapper's just dipped in flavor, but it gets into your mouth more than I would expect.
Yeah, and it kind of thus far, I haven't really got a good flavor profile because I get more of that flavor from the wrapper. But whatever it is, the mixture so far thus that we've got, it's got a good combination to it.
If I were to guess the flavors right now, because like Matt was saying, the sweetness really takes over the actual tobacco flavors. I'm really all I'm getting is a little bit of spice.
Yeah.
And then usually when we have a nut flavor, it's really on the sweet spectrum. So maybe that's just being overpowered a little bit by the sweetness of the tip. But I'm just kind of getting a little bit of spice.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot else. Just spice, obviously sweetness. You get tons of almost a vanilla sweetness and artificial.
Right, yeah.
But it's not a bad artificial flavor. It's just really sweet. Definitely interesting.
Yeah, it's a good combination.
It does. It mixes well.
Yeah.
It does mix well.
I just wish I could get a little more hint of the tobacco, the actual tobacco.
As we get into it, that flavor starts to come off a little bit.
We'll
maybe
get more
into
of
that second, third, we'll start to get more of that natural tobacco.
Yeah, but you can really get that spice because even on that draw, just drawing in, I could feel a spice to it, but not overpowering.
Right.
But yeah, it's more spicy.
It's
more
just
than
real
anything right
subtle.
now. Yeah.
Super mild, guys. Super mild. If you want to get, so far, I mean, we're only half an inch in, not even. But if you want to get someone started on some cigars or
Mhm.
something and say, hey,
Yeah.
this is kind of a cool option.
Yeah.
Yeah, super mild, not a ton of flavors, just some sweetness and some spice.
I think that's the thing I like about it too is, you know, when I mentioned the Cuba, to me it can be overpowering. I'm not a big Cuba guy, but that sweetness is a little more subtle than that, so it goes away very quickly. So it doesn't stay there the whole time.
Yeah.
It actually gives you that chance to get some type of taste of the tobacco and that spice to it. So it's really interesting.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into this very, very long first third, and we'll check back with you when we see some transitions, or we get into that second third.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, we're about 30 minutes in. We're getting to that second third. We're just started that second third, and that first third was really interesting. We're starting to get a little bit of that sweetness is starting to die off a little bit from the tip.
Subtly, yeah.
Which is allowing us to taste more of the flavors.
Yes.
So I'm not going to say that there was a transition, because this is probably the flavors that were there all along. We just couldn't really taste them. I'm going to say that the reason we're tasting these flavors more is because that sweetness is dying down a little bit. And right now, in my opinion, the sweet spot of this cigar is that you still have some sweetness on the tip, but then you're really able to taste those flavors. We're getting a lot of spice. We're getting a lot of cashew nuttiness. So nuttiness, but on the cashew spectrum. So construction's been great.
And the combination of those flavors is just outstanding. They've done a good job of putting that all together into this Lancero and really complementing all three of those flavors combined.
Yeah, quality blend.
Oh yeah.
Quality blend, super mild. The finish is short, zero strength, obviously.
And they talk about pairing this with coffee. And that's exactly what it would be perfect for.
Yeah.
Is with a good coffee. Whatever way you take your coffee, this would pair very, very well with coffee.
Okay, we're at the 1 hour mark. Getting into that last third. That second third introduced a little more of that dark chocolate that you were mentioning a little bit earlier. Construction's been absolutely perfect.
Yes.
But like we were saying, flavor profile, that sweetness started to die down a little bit just because it was wiping off on your mouth.
Right, yeah,
it's going to come off a little bit on there, which is perfect because it allowed us to taste a little bit more of the flavor of the tobacco.
Exactly.
We were definitely getting that nuttiness, cashew. We were definitely getting that spice, which I'm still getting a lot of.
Yes, definitely.
And then that a little bit sweet, based because of the sweet tip, a little bit sweet dark chocolate on that as well. So I was saying the flavor profile went kind of that, if you picture flavors in your brain as colors, like I kind of tend to, it went from that medium color to a little bit darker on the color scheme, which was when that introduced that dark chocolate flavor.
Yeah, and it transitioned really well. And it was almost abrupt, so you knew right away when you hit it that you had that more of that darker chocolate flavor to it. But overall, thus far, very enjoyable.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Exactly as advertised. All right, guys, we just finished the Sweet Dreams by Drunk Chicken Cigars, the Lancero as was described earlier. Very good smoke, very good cigar. We started with that real sweet taste as it's described. From beginning to end, it had that sweetness to it, which was great. Good complement to the flavors that we experienced. That first third, again, a lot of that sweetness that we had, a little bit of spiciness that was there. Kind of came and went, but it mainly stayed the most of the way. Going into that second third, though, we had a little bit more of that nutty cashew flavor that we experienced. Really started to become a little more prominent as the sweetness kind of tapered off a little bit from the wrapper. And then we got a little bit of a hint of dark chocolate as we transitioned through. And it was really nice, really subtle, good flavor to it. And all three of those flavors, between the spiciness and the dark chocolate and that sweet, really complemented itself again. And then finally into that final third, it pretty much maintained itself all the way through. Overall, great cigar. Construction was beautiful on this cigar. The burn, not an issue, not a single issue that we had with that burn. My draw was very good, and as described, Drunk Chicken Cigars. If you look at the advertised description of this thing, to a T, exactly as they described it.
Which is exciting for me because when you're reading what they're putting out there, you're really understanding they know what they're talking about. They know what they were going for. I said it earlier. I felt like I was in their head. I really felt like what they were putting out was something that they worked with and worked on for quite some time, and it's exactly what they're advertising it as. So read the description on their website. If that sounds great for you, it's gonna be exactly as advertised. So that's our overall impressions of this Sweet Dreams Drunk Chicken Cigars. Guys, listen, we do have a promo code that expires at the end of this month, at the end of April. It's Cigars in the Barn. So go over to drunkchickencigars.com. Check out what they have there, and on your purchase, right at the very end there, it'll ask you for a promo code. All lowercase, Cigars in the Barn. These are great people that know what they're doing when they're constructing cigars. Definitely hit them up. Follow us. We're on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Check us out there. You can also check us out on the website. But go to the Instagram to find out a lot more of that information. Once again, fantastic cigar, guys.
Great cigar.